Welcome to the Hungaroring. The new season has started. We are back with the FIA ETRC Championship. The first race is done, and right now we get a little bit break before the race second is going to start, and we've got an interview going on. And for that, I need to put on my mask. We are all tested. In case you just see us sometimes with masks on, sometimes off. There are different regulators, but we're already good at that. So, who we got here? This is Frank Felton. Nice to see you again. Frank does speak German, so I'm trying to translate. We met yesterday, actually, and I had the chance to be sitting there, up there in the seat of the new Iveco S-Way NP Pace truck with Frank as the driver. And he can talk Frank right now, so wie habe ich mich da geschlagen? So, how was I doing?
Ja, für dein erstes Mal hast du dich ganz gut gehalten.
For my first time it was alright, he said. I gave him $5 earlier. Ich habe dir vorher 5 Euro dafür gegeben. Herzlichen Dank. So the new Iveco S-Way NP Pace truck is really a beauty, let's say, the new airbrush design. Frank, vom Design gefällt er dir auch?
Ja, natürlich. Vor allen Dingen hochwertig lackiert, nicht nur foliert, sondern wirklich mit Airbrush versehen und Klarlack.
He repeated it, as I said, the new airbrush design, and on the inside hand-stitched. Also im Inneren sieht es auch ganz schön aus, alles handgefertigt, handgemacht?
Handgenäht, zweifarbiges Velourleder, Velour-Lederlenkrad, also wirklich sehr hochwertig.
Two-color leather of velour, that's really, really great. And what does he got on the track? Also was bringt er denn auf die Straße?
Ja, ist ein ganz normaler Serientruck, also bei 90 km/h abgeregelt. Da geht leider nichts anderes. Er wird auf der eigenen Achse überführt zu jedem Rennen. Deswegen muss man sich halt an die Regeln halten. Ist aber für unsere Zwecke ausreichend.
It's locked down at 19 kilometers per hour for sure. Due to safety reasons, locked down on the axle. He said that's normal for a pace truck because Frank, as you see, is on his overall and he is on duty. Du bist gerade noch im Job. How many minutes to go? Wann geht's los?
Ja, 5 Minutes ist dann die Zeit, wo ich an der Boxenampel stehen muss und warte auf Bescheid, dass ich rausfahren kann in den Grid. Und dann wird kurz danach die Boxenampel für die Racetracks geöffnet und die können dann ebenfalls in den Grid fahren.
So we see the pit lane opens in a couple of minutes and Frank will be the first standing there waiting for the green lights then to start, and then afterwards we've got a rolling start, so this is why all the trucks need to be behind Frank. That's quite a great job you got. How many years are you doing that? Wie viele Jahre machst du das schon?
Bei der ETRA 6 Jahre jetzt mittlerweile, im 6. Jahr.
He's in his 6th years for the ETRA, and as you see, he's a very calm person. Du bist ja auf jeden Fall ein ganz ruhiger Typ, muss man auch sein.
Ja, ein bisschen Tiefenentspannung gehört schon dazu, ne? Nicht verrückt machen lassen. Nicht verrückt machen lassen.
To be completely relaxing is really good for the truck. Shall we have a look inside just a little bit? Because you need to get on board anyway. So this is Frank's working space. We can go in and see brand new tires and everything set up. As we started here, it was 0 kilometers. Der ist bei 0 Kilometern gestartet. And right now, what you got?
Ganz genau bei 600. Der wurde zwar auf dem Tieflader gebracht von Turin, direkt aus Turin vom Werk, aber hatte vorher dann irgendwo Werksgelände oder wo auch immer die 600 Kilometer hinter sich gebracht. Aber ansonsten nur hier auf der Rennstrecke jetzt.
Just 600 kilometers there because transported directly from Turin where this Iveco was manufactured. So Frank, then you go to work now?
Yes.
And I will work as well.
Ja, vielen Dank fürs Interview. Bis bald.
Thank you very much. See you soon. And you will see, of course, the Iveco S-Way NP Pace truck on the grid. And I will be silent. Let's see how he starts. Because it's gas powered, it should be a bit less noisier than normal, and for the environment, of course, really great. Because the Iveco S-Way NP Pace truck is powered by bio-LNG due to a call for more to be done towards environmental protection. So this is Frank back on track. And we are back on here live, so let's have a look at the paddock right now. We see here behind us, let's turn around, it's the team of Norbert Kisch, and as you might have noticed at race 1, there was an incident with his truck, and we are not quite sure what happened really, but he needed to drop out, and that was really unfortunate for the local hero. So we have a look if there's anyone around here. Yes, he's sitting there checking his phone, obviously. Maybe we can ask him for an interview. So my colleague Andreas is going to run forwards, because this is for sure right now the bubble. So we're here kind of a little frontier in a barrier you won't see, but due to COVID-19 regulations, I'm waiting here outside, but you can see the mechanics working on the truck, and it maybe looks like they're almost done. So thank you, Norbert Kisch. Race overall is ready. So yeah, it was so unfortunate. It was so devastating to see you out on the first race. What happened?
Yes, there's this red flexible pipe on the intercooler, which connecting to the engine, because you know the engine is moving a little bit, so you have to have some flexible part, and it came off. Thank you.
He needs to put his mask on as well, and now we are prepped. Yeah.
Yeah, that came off, and that's because on the technical check we have this check when they close the entrance of the turbocharger to see if air into the engine is really only coming on the entrance of the turbocharger with a running engine, but then that creates a vacuum in the intercooler and in this flexi pipe, and this flexi pipe, like, you know, the vacuum pulls it completely together, which is, I think, you know, quite a damaging test, you know, to check something like this, because you can see the whole system with your eyes, you know, so it's kind of pointless. So I think, or we think, that this check is what break our pipe after the qualifying. You know, we had to do this.
At the scrutiny, are you talking about?
Yeah, at the technical checks, yeah, at the scrutineering. So, you know, then it break the pipe a little bit, and then it only could take these 3 laps in the race.
So there was smoke coming out of your truck. That was the conclusion of that pipe blocked.
Yeah, because there was no boost pressure, so you know, not enough air going into the engine, because it was going out. Yeah. So yeah, I mean, it's an unfortunate situation, but yeah, obviously we have to have some measure to you know, try to avoid something like this. You know, even though if they do this at the technical checks, they do this to everybody. So you know, we have to fix it.
And they will do it again, of course, after, you know, right now. So how are you going to fix that problem very, very quick? Or are you hoping that the second pipe will just keep going?
Yeah, we put a new pipe now, and yeah, for sure we will have to check this every time. You know, if this check is happening, then we will have to do it all the time, so that to see if the pipe is intact after the test.
And the rest of the truck is intact?
Yeah, the rest is okay. There's no other technical problem. Just this, you know, if you lose the boost pressure, you lose, like, I think 80% of the engine power. It basically works like a naturally aspirated engine, and you know, it's weak.
Yeah, we saw that you were slowing down, falling behind, and then you decided, okay, I'll just drop out. That would be better.
Yeah, there was no point to going on. And I don't know. I was hoping for a miracle, you know, that. I kind of knew what happened, because it happened before, or some similar problems with the intercooler happens before, and I kind of already know what it sounds like when you lose the boost pressure like this, when one of the pipes open in an instant, you know. So I kind of knew what happened, but I was hoping for a miracle, you know, I don't know, somehow it would fix itself, you know, and then I could go on. But yeah, after a lap I realized that it's over.
No miracle is going to happen. But you're already prepped for race 2. And how is it mentally for you? Because, of course, this is disappointing for everyone. And even the team, I had a look at their faces, and they were really calm, because they're feeling it also, because you're really a great team here. So how can you cheer up for race 2?
Yeah, I mean, of course it's difficult. You know, we were leading the race. We were so fast in the whole day. We make pole position. We go in front in the race. And then to lose, you know, I think a win like this, it's of course disappointing. It's hard to hard to take in. But we look forward to the next race, and we just keep going, because we know that we are fast. Obviously, we wanted to take some point advantage in the championship because we want to fight for the championship, and it's bad in that aspect in the points. But we know that we are fast and that we can try to go and win the race next time. So this is what we do.
There are lots of races going on, and as you step out of the truck, you just waved a bit at the fans. Was it just a bit comforting for you in this situation, because there really was a big applause for you?
Yeah, and I thank them, because I feel the support really much, and I hate to disappoint them like this. That we can't bring the results and we can't bring the victory for the fans as well. So. Yeah, I'm sorry for that as well, but yeah, I was happy to hear that. I think they still like it and like the racing, and I hope in the next coming races we can bring the results.
I'm sure we are really glad that everyone is back. Thank you very much, and good luck for the second race.
Thank you.
So that was Norbert Kisch, of course, a bit disappointed, but yes, of course. And we want to show you right now the scenes of this first race that we talk about, because there was a lot going on. And so we will have a look at the summary of the first race. And I'm not hearing if the summary has started. Yes, we did just have a little bit of delay because I was very quick. But as you see right now, here's a calm situation right now. And I felt it a bit that Norbert Kisch was disappointing. But also we have a stunning winner of the first race. So we want to keep you a little bit curious before we start. And right now you will see the summary.
Slight bit of contact with Jochen Hahn would then get worse and worse as the bodywork tore away, nearly taking the front of Steffi Helm's truck with it. Theo Calve embraced a fantastic fight with René Reiner, but Sascha Lenz remained unstoppable near the front, opening up the gap lap after lap. Then unfortunately we lost Norbert Kisch, the home hero, who will have a lot of work to do later on this afternoon. Lachko continued, sans bodywork. Lenz managed to open up the gap to over 9 seconds, nearly 10 seconds by the end of the race. There's a little bit of a mishap for the number 24 of Stefan Fass, with all smokes and steams and all sorts coming off, but it was Sascha Lenz who would take the initial win this season come the end of the race. The battle really hotted up further back though, with Brereton managing to put on a fantastic show in the final couple of laps, really closing in on the number 24 machine, but the Brit not quite able to get it done by the end. He tried everything though, chucking the kitchen sink and everything else at it, but nobody could stop this man, Sascha Lenz, in the number 30 machine. The SL Truck Sport driver taking his first win of the season and opening the account in style. Jochen Hahn finishes in second with Adam Lachko in third. Two real protagonists of the championship on the podium once again. And Alberstetti finishing in fourth place ahead of Steffi Halm. A very, very strong top five indeed. But how will things shape up in the second race of the day when we get our reverse grid? Of course, the top 8 getting reversed, which means that Shane Brereton will start on pole position. Anderson had a great race as well, the number 33 machine.
So that was the race, and now we see the last cleaning of the truck of Antonio Alberstetti. So the team of T-Sport Berner, maybe you can show it, are doing their very best. This is a car wash, but not as you're used to it. This is car wash by hand, and it's really accurate. And it's, of course, also not because of the beauty of the trucks, but also because of safety reasons, and that Antonio Alberstetti can see everything. And now we might turn around because it's Adam Lachko leaving for the pit lane. Please turn around. There we got the truck, because I'm really curious, because he lost a lot of his, a lot of this body work on the truck, and I think they completed it again. You know, the bodywork flew off, as you saw in race 1 after the battle with Jochen Hahn, and Hahn left space for him. But this is the team of Bujira, and they were really quick to replacing those body parts. So Adam Lachko is ready for the race, and everything is set up. And I think they've been washing this car as well. So we see the team director here. It was Tim Frost cleaning himself the car. This is really some really nice pictures for us. And now we get to leave a little bit more space as Steffi Halm is leaving Schwabel Truck Racing. So we step a little bit beside. Now everyone is up driving to the pit lane. This is as close as we can get to a truck. This is pretty amazing to see how narrow it is here in the paddock. And the skills of the drivers can be seen already here, but as you might notice, the skills of the drivers will be seen, of course, on the grid. Very spectacular. We're looking forward to the reverse grid. Steffi Halm, I think she was 5th after the first race, and you hear the engine starts here from Antonio Alberstetti. So we're still in the paddock. This is the atmosphere. Team Bujira is right out with Theo Calvet coming up. And you see, maybe have a look on the tires in the curves, in the ankle of the tires. The second axle is steer, but the first, you see it really, I would call it flexible in my little words I could use. So this is the last look at the driver's face before heading off. One of the youngsters greeting us. See you. Have a good race then. So you are directly with us with the trucks lining up. We've got the tank pool team with 24 here right now. The new Scania, the new manufacturer on board, also greeting. Lots of concentrations in the looks. So everybody is ready, prepped for race 2. And as you might notice, we still have a little delay due to the delays for the first race, when there was a little problem by refilling all the water tanks for cooling down systems. And yes, we do need to have this break for the drivers and also for the teams to get everything set up. So this is why we have a little delay here right now for race 2. We might continue if there's anyone left. Oh yes, there is our winner coming up from the first race, Sascha Lenz. He won the first race 9.9 seconds ahead, which is stunningly a lot. He also started 2019 winning the Hungaroring, and 2020 he had 1 win and 1 podium. And yes, of course, he's in a good mood. I suggest this is Sascha Lenz going around. And I hope that our commentator, Chaz, is also ready. But we have a look at Anderson driving around the last truck, I think, coming up right now, number 33. Really great to have a closer look at all the trucks in the entrance right now. And as you see behind there, some family members, crew members here, because as you might hear, truck racing is a big family running around. So we've got a new fuel, by the way. So the HVO is a type of biofuel produced from vegetable oils, using hydrogen as a catalyst. It's very environmental friendly, and maybe you can smell it a bit. And this is our latest racer. It's the Mini Reinhardt, not competing in this race, but maybe in a couple of years. Starting number 77. This is really great to see. So maybe one of the future generations, because our youngsters, we're here seeing Alia College and Theo Calvé. Those are the youngsters in the team right now, and Mini Reinhardt maybe in a couple of years. So I hope that Chaz, you're already seated and ready to go. And we will have a walk, and also going to the grid right now. Last interviews here for another network. Mini Reinhardt is on his way back. So, yes, you get to see the teams already. Yeah. And now I've got to hear that we can have a look at the onboard camera with Sascha Lenz. So, Chaz, if you can hear me and you're in your racing seat, just give it a go.
I'm very, very excited to give it a go. Thank you very much indeed, Christina. And yes, we are on board with Sascha Lenz, our race one winner, just on his way out now to go and line up on the grid ahead of the second race of the championship. Really looking forward to this one. We had a fantastic encounter the first time round. A great drive through the field by Jamie Anderson, it has to be said, in the number 33 machine. He started 11th on the grid in the first race of the day, and he was third in the Chrome class, but he ended up winning his class, finishing 6th overall, the most places gained in that particular race, just ahead of Fass and Brereton, who will now start just ahead of him on the grid. Because for anybody that doesn't know or that didn't catch us in the first race of the day, we have the top 8 from the first race reversed on the grid for race 2. Conditions looking very interesting at the moment. Still quite hot out there by the look of it, but there's still a lot of scattered clouds in the sky. It's almost overcast in places, but then you get the odd burst of blue sky coming through and plenty of sunshine. So temperatures a little bit up and down. Very interesting to hear about what happened to Norbert Kisch in that very first race. Having the boost pipe tested beforehand, he believes weakened it, and of course meant that it broke later on, which is a real shame. Interesting to hear his very honest opinions of the test. Maybe it's a little bit too harsh on the engines, but every single day is a school day, and they will learn and see what they can do about that going forward. But here is our race one winner then, and of course immediate championship leader Sascha Lenz, the German, driving the MAN round to the grid to get lined up. Now of course he's going to start 8th on the grid, with Jochen Hahn, who was nearly 10 seconds behind him in that first race, starting just in front of him, albeit alongside him on his right hand side. So the front row of the grid will lead everybody away. It's a rolling start. They will of course have the pace truck out there with them as well, which will be the Iveco S-Way. I've been saying Iveco because it's pronounced slightly differently in English from what I understood, but either way, this is Sascha Lenz lining up on row 4. You can see the number 1 of Jochen Hahn on his right hand side there. The marshal a lot braver than I am. Love the hand signals. It says turn the engine off, sunshine. And there are your 2 official trucks at the front. You have the official truck, of course, on the right hand side, which is the wonderful Ford F-Max Truck of the Year 2019, and then the Iveco S-Way pace truck, which, as Christina mentioned earlier, it runs on biodiesel. And it's fantastic to have. The interior of that thing as well looked absolutely stunning with all of the white and blue stitching. Now there's Jamie Anderson on the left in the number 33. He will start third on the grid on the inside after that great drive through the field in the first race. There's the number 24, Stefan Fass, who will start on the front row of the grid alongside Shane Brereton, who you will not miss when he comes through. He's in the purple number 17 machine, the Apollo branded truck. But the grid begins to take shape then. 15 trucks in this one, and you can see in the bottom right of the shot there, Norbert Kish, who of course retired early on in that first race, and will start right near the back of the grid for this one. So he's got plenty of work to do. It's going to be exciting for his home fans to see him make his way through the order, and exciting for us as well, and for me up here in the commentary box, albeit at home in the UK. But still, I want to say a fantastic well done and thank you to everybody for making it possible for me to be commentating remotely and to be in sync very, very quickly with Christina and everybody there as well, working on this broadcast behind the scenes. It's been a lot of fun so far, getting to know everybody and all of the people involved. This is Theo Calve, qualified 10th, started 10th and finished 10th. So we'll line up 10th for race 2. Theo Calve, one of the youngest drivers in the field. Now that is Stefan Fass in the number 24 machine. As we've said, he's going to be starting on the very front row of the grid. We've got Rene Reina starting a little bit further back. And we have an interview with Theo Calve.
As we're standing here with Theo Calve. Hi, good to see you. It was just 1 second and 1.5 seconds until position for pole position. So, but how do you feel about this right now?
I had a difficult first race. I was struggling with the truck during all the race. The start didn't help me. Kursim pushed me out on the first turn, so I had to try to come back during the race. It was very difficult, but I start at the 9th position, so I will do my best to make the best result this race.
Because Vinny Reinhardt obviously got a penalty, so you're starting from the 9th position. The first curves, they're really tricky, we saw at the first race. How are your plans to going into that?
Yeah, you know, it's difficult to have a plan before the race. I will see at the moment, but I will make my best to have a good exit from the first turn.
That sounds great. How are the conditions for you? It's a bit cloudy, it's warm, but maybe there will be some rain, we don't know yet. Some drops have fallen down. How are the conditions for you today?
Yeah, it's very hot. It's very hot today, so it's a little bit difficult for us. But our truck are not the best on this circuit, so it's quite hard today. But we have to adapt. It's the same for everyone.
Yeah, for sure. But why isn't your truck the best for this circuit?
You know, we don't have a good traction. We don't have a good grip, so it don't help a lot.
Okay, but your driving skills will help a lot, I think. Good luck then, Theo Calve. So maybe not the best condition, he's saying, but of course he is a really good driver, one of the youngsters from the Bugira team. So Chaz, back to your seat.
Yeah, it's interesting that Theo's so honest there as well about the fact that the Bugira Freightliner not quite as good out of the corner. But to be honest, he actually showed us that in the first race. We saw a number of moments where he had a big slide coming through the exit of some of the quicker corners, just trying to put the power down and keep the momentum there. Now, interestingly, I've noticed that Shane Brereton, who finished that first race in 8th place, should have been on pole position, but instead it's Rene Reina who is on the front row on the left-hand side there. You can see the number 77 truck on the left of your shot. So he was directly behind Brereton, which means that Shane must have been given a penalty or something of some sort to put him further down the order. I've been checking the live timing and all of the messages on there, but there's been no sort of warning or anything like that. So I'm not really sure. There was an investigation into an incident between him and Reiner towards the end of the previous race. But apparently there was no further action, but to me, that says there was further action. So, unfortunately, it's Reiner that takes it from Shane Brereton. Not unfortunate that Reiner is on pole position. I mean, it's unfortunate that Shane goes from being on pole down to 9th, I'm afraid. He'll be absolutely gutted about that one. But even still, we're in for an absolute corker of a second race. Now, it's going to be great to see what Sascha Lenz can do within the middle of the pack, starting from 8th on the grid. There is the official FIA ETRC truck, which is, of course, the beautiful Ford F-Max 2019 International Truck of the Year award. Over 15,000 hours of lab testing, over 5 million kilometres of road testing, using 233 prototypes across 11 countries. Now, we actually have an interview with our new pole sitter, René Reiner.
Yes, and right now we can clear the situation because you are the new pole setter due to a penalty for Brereton. It was a collision between you two, and Brereton, yes, he's got the fault right now. What do you say about that?
I had a really difficult first race, you know, because during the start I got a crash from behind and I had a flat tire the whole race. So I was fighting to hold my positions, and then short before the end I got another crash from behind, and I lost my positions and I was on in line at the end. But then we had to go to the stewards, and was a decision that the other truck or a driver was penalized, so I got my 8th place back, and for the moment I'm happy.
Yeah, for sure. So the fighting continues after the race. What time has it been between ending the race and then the stewards finally say, yep, you're on pole right now?
Yeah, it was we had a long time. It was there at the stewards, and they had searching for good videos. Our video was destroyed from our truck. I don't know, it was not working. So we had to find some good videos. But at the end, they find it, and they made the decision. So it was good for us.
And the truck is complete right now. Back.
Yeah. The rim and the tire it's repaired. So there's a new one there, and now everything. It's good. Yeah, for sure. It's all the time the best to stay in the pole position.
Yeah. Ready, set, go. Thank you very much. And we cleared up the situation right now for you.
Much appreciated, and it's very interesting to hear that it happened afterwards, because it really did confuse me. I saw Reiner go forward to line up on pole, thinking have they got the wrong number there at the front of the grid, but no, it is how it's meant to be now after the penalty was given to Shane Brereton. Absolutely gutting though for Shane, so that will mean that the first result is affected in just the way that it's those two that have swapped around, but that still means that Brereton holds on to 3rd position in his class, in the Chrome class, but overall he was just moved down to 9th position. So the engines get fired up, the trucks will get ready to go, everybody makes their way off the grid, and the second round of the 2021 FIA European Truck Racing Championship is about to get underway. We have onboards again from Sascha Lenz in the number 30, Theo Calve in the number 20, and of course Stefan Fass in the number 24 as well, who starts on the outside of the front row there. There is your grid. And there, at the back, is number 41, Norbert Kish. Looks like we've not got Andre Kurzim on the grid, unfortunately. He was involved in the incident before that Reiner mentioned. He did get an absolute smack into turn 1. I said at the time I was surprised that they both continued, but it seemed that Reiner, he said he had a flat tyre on the right rear, so that would have been why he didn't have the pace in the latter stages of the lap, because there was a lot of high-speed corners through there and a lot of momentum needed. You really need the truck to be stable through there so it can change the direction very quickly and have a really good weight transfer. There's your very beautiful grid. Then you can still see the heat haze here. It's very, very warm indeed. It may not be the sunniest place on Earth right now in the Hungaroring, but it's still very, very warm indeed. And the Iveco S-Way will lead us away very soon. Well, there you go. I said about body language. The thing hops off the line. And the field is now led around on their formation lap. So to take you through your grid then, pole position goes the way of René Reiner, alongside the number 24 of Stefan Fass. Row 2 is made up of the rapid Jamie Anderson, your Chrome class winner from race 1, alongside Steffi Halm. Watch out for Steffi in truck 44, position 4. We then have Antonio Alberthetti in 5th place, ahead of Adam Lachko, who has all of the bodywork back on his truck now after the little bit of contact in race 1. Jochen Hahn will line up in 7th place, the reigning champion, alongside race 1 winner Sascha Lenz in 8th place. We then have Shane Brereton starting in 9th, watch out for him again in the bright purple machine, followed by Theo Calve, who rounds out your top 10. We then have Alia Koloc with Heinz Clemens Hecker. No Tom O'Rourke, I don't think. Oh, no, Tom has taken to the grid, actually, he is there. And we do have Andre Kurzim as well, and Norbert Kish. So we do have the full field for this one. There is Kish, and there is Kurzim at the back of the field as well. I got confused earlier when I didn't see Tom O'Rourke. He's got a 20 years sort of wreath on the back of the truck, and for some reason I thought it was the number 20 truck of Theo Calve, but obviously that's a blue and white truck, not just a solid white one. So it seems that Chaz still needs to get his liveries and everything down for the season, doesn't it? Either way, we've got a wonderful field of trucks before us. 15 that started the weekend will take this second race, the final race of the day for these guys. 2 races each day. And we do it all over again tomorrow with qualifying 2, Super Pole 2, and then we have races 3 and 4. And myself and Christina will be with you again for that one. And IB as well, our German commentator, who is over on the German stream. If you don't like my English or you don't like my accent, you can go over to the German stream as well if you want. Also on the FIA ETRC YouTube page, or YouTube channel, I should say. But hopefully you enjoy the show with me, Chaz Draycott, and we can have a fantastic time of the racing this afternoon. Now, 3 of them to watch at the back are definitely Tom O'Rourke, who's going to be fired up after retiring from the first race. Home hero Norbert Kish took pole position, was fastest in practice, but had to retire after a boost pipe failed in race 1. And of course, Andre Kurzim, who made a very, very big move down the inside into turn 1 in race 1. He's going to be looking to get the jump as well. So, a couple of corners left to go then, as our Iveco pace truck leads the way with its beautiful white and blue stitched seats and steering wheel that we saw earlier, which I'm humongously jealous of. Interestingly, Kurzim is really holding back from the rest of the field here. He's supposed to be alongside Tom O'Rourke, but he's hanging quite far back at the moment. So we'll have to see what he makes of this start. But the rest of them, of course, 2 by 2 all the way around. And the pace truck makes its way in. René Reiner on the inside there, on the right-hand side of your shot in the number 77, is going to lead them round the final corner. And round 2 of the 2021 FIA European Truck Racing Championship is go. It's a fantastic start from the 23. They're 4 wide there by the look of it. Antonio Alberthetti gets a fantastic launch off the line, jumps down to the right-hand side, but does not get past Stefan Fass. They're 3 wide in the middle. That's Halm in there as well with Lachko. There's a humongous lock-up from the 23. He's going to pile into the side of Stefan Fass, who gets turned sideways in front of the pack. Can everybody avoid him? There's contact with Alberthetti, and look at that, Teo Calve from 10th on the grid down into second place. I say down into second place, up into second place by the exit of turn 1. Jochen Hahn's getting held up on the inside there by Alberthetti, who's gone slow out of turn 1 due to the contact. There's more contact there as they all run wide. That's Hahn trying to run down the inside. Humongous tyre squeals. Oh, it was straight on. Oh, Stefan Fass into the wall hard. Clearly some damage after the first bit of contact there. And he's gone completely straight on at turn 2 into the wall. There's more contact. Alberthetti getting absolutely sent sideways by Jochen Hahn. There's big damage to the front right of Alberthetti's truck. And I believe we've neutralised the race. Yes, we have indeed. They've red flagged it. Great to see Stefan Fass is okay. But that was a monumental hit into the wall. He jumps out and thinks, what on earth happened there? That was clearly as a result of the damage from the first bits of contact. You can see he's nodding. He's just telling the marshals, yep, I'm okay. And that is great to see. A real testament to the safety here, but also a very clear demonstration that, you know, you don't mess with these trucks. You know, that's 5.5 tons straight into that barrier there. Not sure what happened, whether it locked up, whether one of the wheels maybe became jammed in the bodywork after the damage earlier, but a really, really big impact. There you can see, though, luckily at that point of the circuit, the fence further away. A little bit of debris in a tyre maybe there, but nobody harmed, everybody okay, which is the main thing. But unfortunately, we have a red flag at the start of the second race. So here you go then. So Alberthetti flies down the inside, locks up, goes into the side of Stefan Fass, who's then around in the middle of the field. Teo Calve, a little bit cheeky there, pushes Anderson out of the way and goes through. Everybody else was going wide. Now, it looks to me like maybe it's the front right of Stefan Fass's truck, because when he got turned around, I'm sure somebody else made contact with the front right of him. So he's come down the hill into turn 2, gone to turn left, and nothing has happened. And the truck has just simply not responded. There's the contact between Jochen Hahn and Antonio Alberthetti, who's had a very tough start to the race himself. He's the catalyst in all of that, unfortunately, after making that initial contact. Steffi Halm has lost a big chunk of the bodywork on the front right of her truck as well. And it was Reiner that was leading the way from Lachko, who had got ahead of Calve, but Calve was fantastic at the start there, down the inside, took advantage of the incident and went through. As there's the fans giving us a wave, still in high spirits as ever, saying that's us on the screen over there. But that's a real shame for Stefan Fass. He was so confident starting from the front row of the grid to get turned around and then have this massive hit. You can just see there was just no turning whatsoever from those tyre tracks. Something was obviously broken on the front or even on the rear that just meant that the truck was not going to slow down. And I've seen some tyre barriers get knocked over in my time enjoying motorsport, but that's a tyre barrier that's been absolutely demolished. And it's going to take some effort from the marshals to get that fixed. You can see everybody now coming back to line up on the grid. Now I'll be intrigued to see whether they put everybody back in the original starting positions or whether they just line them up for a restart in the positions they were in when the race got red flagged. It looks to me, yeah, they're putting them back where they started, because Lachko is there going to be 6th on the grid. Reiner is going to be on pole position. So, yeah, they're putting them back to how they were originally meant to start the race. So we're not going to have Stefan Fass 2nd on the grid. I'm not sure whether we'll even have Antonio Alberthetti in 5th. Jochen Hahn got involved in the contact as well there too, so he's had a rough start to the race. Interested to see whether he comes back through. And Anderson there with smoke coming out the back of his truck. Wondering whether he got even further involved in what went on. It doesn't really seem like there's many people from his team urgent to help. Yeah, there's definitely damage on the front right there, but look at that hit. It knocks the wall down and then climbs completely over it. Does Stefan Fass's truck. Luckily, though, he's okay. You can see the remnants of what was contact on the front right of Steffi Halm's truck, the number 44 on the right of your screen there. And there's Kursim at the back, just lining up in position. Well, hopefully we can get the race back underway as soon as possible for you all. But of course, safety is of the utmost priority right now, so getting that barrier fixed, making sure that everybody is all fit and safe to go, has to take priority over everything else here. They're not just doing this for our entertainment, remember. But a great effort there by the marshals to get that stopped as quickly as they could. The trucks had barely made it up the road into the next couple of corners before the race was red flagged. Because no matter what you could predict later on in the race, you don't want another truck to come and find the barrier in an unfit state like that. So it's best that they spend the time getting it fixed and get it prepared for the race restart. You can see that the sun has gone in slightly at this point as well. So hopefully, for the sake of the drivers, the temperatures come down a little bit. But here is the beginning of the recovery operation of the number 24 truck out of the barrier. And they're going to just hoist the back of the truck up slightly, I imagine, and just try and drag it away from the barrier. Admittedly, this is part of the sport that I'd overlooked. Now, I've seen a lot of cars and racing vehicles get recovered from barriers and gravel traps and so on. Never seen it happen with a truck, admittedly. So this could be potentially as new to you as it could be as new to me. But again, I mean, just looking at the front of the truck from here, we obviously can't see the bit that's involved in the tyre barrier, but it still looks like it's held up very, very well from that impact. And we'll have a look at an onboard camera in just a moment, I believe, as well, just been told. So hopefully we can check of what happened. So into turn one we go then, from Stefan Fass. He's going to get a big old hit from Alberthetti there, goes completely around, and then there's one hit on the right rear. Is there any more? No. So he gets the second hit on the right rear. I'm wondering whether a tyre's gone down or something. Let's see how he gets going again. So he's got going without any real issues, it seems. And he's hit the brakes, and it's just not slowing down. And he just goes straight over the barrier. It didn't seem like the right rear had completely gone down or anything like that. Didn't seem like the right rear had gone down and the truck was completely out of control. There was just no braking whatsoever when he got to the second corner, and now you can see a great effort from everybody trying to get the tyre barrier away from the truck. And we have an interview with Christina.
Yes, and luckily Antonio Albacete is all right. But what happened? You had a little tete-a-tete with in the turn 1 and a little crash. And what happened then?
Yeah, I lock a little bit the brakes, and then I touch a little with no, don't remember.
Sorry.
No, with Stefan Fast, you know. I touch him, he span in front of me, so I think we make a little bit of mess there, you know. And I don't know what happened to him, and then I have a big push from Jochen, I think, in corner 4, I think it was. So then it was the red flag. So we will see.
Yeah. Because Stefan Fast, it looked like he couldn't control the truck anymore. He was directly crashing into the wall. So he couldn't control the... So you maybe hit the tire, or did you see what you hit at the truck from Stefan Fast?
No, I just saw that I touched him in the side, and he was spun in front of me.
Yeah, sorry.
And I didn't see anything else. I don't know.
Little crash with my microphone as well. So thank you very much. Yes, but you're all right and waiting right now for the green lights.
Yeah, I hope. Yeah, I hope that we don't have any problem on the rear, and yeah, we hope to race again.
Thank you very much. Let's have a quick look at here at the truck. For example, as we know, we see that this is obviously not in shape anymore, Chaz. We're going to switch that, of course.
It looked good on my office wall, that, I think, to be honest. But yeah, it's not really fit for the front of the truck anymore for Antonio Albacete as they continue to get the 24 out of the barrier. But as you said there, you know, all it takes is just a little lock-up, and the slightest of moments can completely write the race off. Look at the way the barrier bends and even splits on the left-hand side there. These barriers are incredibly tough, and they would stop any sort of racing car going through them. But when it's a 5 and a bit ton truck, it's not quite that simple. Great to see, though, that Stefan Fast was so quick in getting out of the truck and able to get out under his own power. You know, he didn't need any help to get out, which is the main thing. So he's still fighting fit. Now here's some guilty tyre marks. You can see the tyre wall rubbed off slightly there, chips out of the rim and everything. Just trying to figure out which of the trucks that is. Is that Antonio Albacete that we're looking at there? But you can see the sidewall completely rubbed down. Christina?
Yeah, because we're still at Albacete's truck, and you see the blue color. And let's come on, have a look at the other truck from Jochen Hahn. And you obviously see where the blue color comes from. And you've got the little damage here on the left side. Jochen, I hope you're right.
Not so bad.
Are you? So what happened?
This is the first lap of the second race. Every time you must look where you are, and every time, you know, you can lose all but win a little bit. So from this side, go careful in the first lap. But I have a damage with Antonio, a mistake from him and a mistake from me, and it's a little bit of crash. But I think Stefan Fast have a broken disc and go up in the wall. So hopefully he's okay, and every other things doesn't matter.
He stepped out of the truck, so first impression is that he's doing fine. That's the good news, and it was a massive. It seems like he did not control the truck, as you said, maybe with the broken disc.
No, I think it's a broken disc, so he goes straight without contact. So from this side, maybe it's some mechanical things. So, but in the end, we have a safety truck and we have a good wall, and the wall hold him. So from this side, all other things we can repair.
Yeah. That's good news. And you didn't need to repair this right now, but this is just a little damage or anything else on your truck?
What?
You have a little damage just here at the front, but anything else is working really great with the truck and not...
It's only the paint and the sticker. So all technical things are fine. I have only a small contact, so I'm ready for the restart.
We are as well. Thank you very much. So this is as close as you get at the FIA ETRC Championship. This is pretty amazing to get to talk to the drivers, and we are obviously waiting for the green lights, but I think it will take some time until the marshals got everything set, prepped.
Yes, indeed. Barrier repair is not something that's done very quickly, but I enjoyed that small episode of CSI Hungary there, where we find out just who was guilty of damaging Antonio Albertetti's tyre there. But some great battling all the same from those guys. A shame to see the contact, but as I said at the very start of the show earlier on today with race 1, contact is inevitable in these things. They drive them very much like touring cars, and they can get away with the side-to-side contact a lot of the time. But as you see now, the marshals and everybody just trying to get Stefan Faast's truck out of the barriers. And as you can see at the bottom of your screen there, the driver is okay and well. He jumped out straight away and got on with it and just made sure that he was clear of any other potential danger. Everybody now just trying to figure out how they get that truck out of there. I imagine that the barrier is still underneath it, which is why it's causing such an issue, because you can see actually, if you look just over to the left of the man in the white shirt, you can see the barrier is sort of folded over underneath the truck, so they can't just drag it out backwards because it'll get stuck on the barrier. They may need to try and lift the rear end over it and then get the truck moved. It may have also dug into the hillside slightly as well there, so this could be a bit of a messy operation. It's not going to make the countryside part of Hungaroring look the prettiest there. They remove any loose parts from the front of the truck, especially that front grille there. You could have said, you know, it wasn't too damaged, but just at the risk of damaging it any further, they don't want to take that off. And of course it gives them access to any of the hooks or loops where they can tow the truck back from. But we hope you stick with us through this. It's certainly been a lively start to the race this afternoon. Plenty going on, but an absolutely gutting moment for Stefan Faast as he starts from the front row of the grid and in only 2 corners is out of the race with an incident that causes a red flag. You can see fans in the grandstands over on the left-hand side there, which is awesome to see. Once again, we have fans back at racing circuits. You've got to love it. And they still get the wonderful sights of this fantastic field of trucks lining up at least on the grid, ready to go. We have the official pace truck at the front as well, the Iveco S-Way, and then all the other racing trucks behind them there with the doors open as well, making sure they keep at least a bit of cool air flowing through. And we'll just jump down very quickly to Christina again. Christina.
Yes, we are also in a fast car right now. This is the golf car. We are trying to get an interview with Stefan Faast, and this is Jochen Hahn joining us. We're giving him a ride, free ride, of course, to get back to his team, for sure. I go down. No, you go, just go there, jumped off. Whoop. So I'm going to the guys from the pace truck. I mean, this is truck racing championship. I love it so far. So yes, but first of all, which is important is Stefan Faast. I hope that he's all right, but I think he is, and maybe we can have a chat with him. So we keep you posted, Chaz, and back to you until then.
Thanks very much, Christina. And yeah, like you say, fingers crossed he is okay. Seemed it when he got out, but of course drivers can be left a little bit shaken from such incidents, and I know that all of the medics and doctors and everybody will just be taking any precautions they can just to make sure that he is perfectly fine, and hopefully we can see him back out again in the race tomorrow. Now look at the clouds there. That is some very, very dark sky. It's almost like British weather in the background there. I say that though, and it's absolutely scorching sunshine outside my office window right now. So potentially we could get a bit of a wet race if the delay is long enough to permit that. But we'll keep giving you updates as and when we get them, everybody. Because, as you can imagine at the moment, repairing a barrier like this with the truck still in it, effectively, is not really possible at the moment. So everybody's just going to do their job, make sure they do everything they can to, 1, not damage the truck further, 2, not damage the barrier any further so they can get it repaired quickly, and 3, make sure that they do it in a timely manner so we can get the race back underway. But safety is the priority at this point. You can see even on the right hand side of your screen there where the pit lane exit white line is that comes towards us, you can see two massive black streaks of rubber from, I believe, that's Antonio Alberthetti, who then was the catalyst for that incident. You can also see just from where the little white mark is in the middle of the road on the apex of the corner, or in the middle of the corner I should say, you can see then the long swoop of rubber where Stefan Faas was spun around on the spot. But everybody else, in avoiding action, making bits of contact here and there, the order really shuffled up. We rode on board with Teo Calve for a moment, who started 10th on the grid. And by, I think, the exit of turn 1, he was either 2nd or 3rd. I think he lined up 3rd behind Adam Lachko, who got the run on him, on his teammate. But it was still phenomenal to see Teo get such a great start. He was really quick off the mark as well in race 1. But unfortunately got pushed wide after Andre Kurzim had a moment. You can see Andre there in the number 11 truck on the left-hand side of your screen. And after the start of race 1, I imagine René Reiner is going to be quite pleased that he's that far away from Kurzim, because Kurzim chucked it down the inside, made big contact with the right rear, and gave Reiner a puncture that lasted the entire race, but he still managed to control the truck all the way through and come home in 8th place. Sascha Lenz didn't really get involved in too much in that initial start either. He has his truck intact, as does everybody else in the field, but here unfortunately Alberthetti, the one that had quite a lot of damage in that one. It looked to me like the right front was really broken, but as Christina touched on earlier in the paddock, these trucks run a lot of camber on the front wheels, so when you turn the front wheels aggressively, it almost looks like the suspension has collapsed on the inside and the wheel has sort of fallen off, but no, it's all good. You can see there at the bottom of your shot the number 41 of Norbert Kish just leaning against the door, just taking the helmet off for now, making sure that he stays cool. Being sat inside the truck for so long. But don't forget, these things, they weigh over 5 tons, as I mentioned earlier. 5.3 tons. 3,150 kilos of that, as it says in the technical regs, needs to be measured at the front wheels. So most of the truck's weight is over the front end. A lot of the time they run the rear, the brake bias quite rearward as well to make sure that they can rotate the rear on the way into the corner. That could potentially be part of the reason that Stefan Faas had his moment there. As Jochen Hahn touched on, it could have been a technical issue with damage after the contact, which caused that. Maybe a broken disc or something, as he said. And we'll just quickly jump back down to Christina.
To let you know where we are in front of the medical center, and it's Stefan Faas still there getting checked properly. We went to see his family, for example. They are, of course, a bit shocked, but I hope that everything is all right with Stefan Faas. So last checks. So this is also really good to see for you, the audience, that everything is really good organized right now. We got the medical center here behind us. So this is what just wanted to tell you very quickly.
Thank you very much, Christina. Thank you very much indeed. As we say, the priority is the fact that Stefan is okay. There is the truck. Then they've removed a lot of the panels off the front of it to make sure that they can tow it properly, not damage it any further. But you can see now the extent of the damage, not just along the front, but along the side of it as well, as it landed over the barrier. And of course, the damage to the barrier as well. Very, very extensive indeed. And from that vantage point there at the back of the paddock, you can actually see down the hill towards turn 2. So everybody's just going to be watching the repair take place for now. And hopefully they can have the job done very quickly. I've seen some wonderfully fast repairs done in my time. I believe that's Steffi Halm there, just joining the team to say hello and give them an update, ask what happened, because a lot of the time these drivers don't tend to see everything that goes on around them. You may think, well, the driver's out there, Chaz, of course they're going to see everything. No. They often just focus a lot on their own race and they don't see every single thing that goes on. But the sun's back out again now, so the changeable conditions continue. And we wait for news on a potential restart. And again, you can see the difference in height from the Iveco Pace truck. Yes, it may be closer to us than the trucks behind it, but still, while these trucks are not the smallest things in the world, they're still a lot smaller than the trucks that you and I will see on the road day to day. But with over 1,200 brake horsepower and 5,000 Newton meters of torque as well. I believe the figure is about 5,500, which helps push the rear wheels into the ground, get all the traction down. Or quite the opposite if you're Theo Calve. He mentioned earlier that his Bagheera machine was not able to put the traction down as well as a lot of the other trucks out there. The Freightliner needing a little bit more help and a bit more encouragement to get the power down out of the corners potentially. And on a track like this as well, where you really need a good run out of a corner, it's not the place to have it. As he mentioned, you know, you need a lot of momentum through each corner here. There's a number of kinks on this track as well that lead into a good run for the following corner. And they are the vital parts that you need to get right lap after lap. Now you can see a huge amount of cloud cover coming over the circuit, and it's suddenly going a lot darker here, so maybe that wet weather that I mentioned earlier could be on its way anytime soon. And it certainly does change quickly, the climate in Hungary. We've seen it multiple times before. I wouldn't be surprised to see it again now. I hope the fans have brought their umbrellas, is all I'm going to say.
Good. Yeah, I have a big problem in the first corner. I think now in the moment it's not, it's noch nicht perfekt. Ich weiß nicht genau, was war am Truck. Ich konnte nicht mehr richtig bremsen. Das eine Rad hat blockiert und der Rest vom Truck hat nicht mehr gebremst.
Okay, the one tire blocked and you couldn't stop the truck.
Und dann bin ich praktisch, natürlich hätte ich einlenken können, aber dann wäre ich mit der Seite in die Leitplanke rein. Und ich habe einfach gemerkt, ich werde nicht langsamer, habe die Hände vom Lenkrad genommen und habe einfach weiter gebremst und versucht einfach anzuhalten.
Let me just translate that very quickly. So he tried to turn around, but then suddenly realizing that he was not losing any speed, so then he would have crashed with the side. So he decided to let loose, basically, and just crashed directly into the wall. I mean, what was that for feeling? When the walls are really good, the security is good, but boah.
Ich habe ja nicht damit gerechnet. Ja. Ich bin da in der ersten Kurve praktisch getroffen worden auf der rechten Seite. Ich vermute, die haben mir da einen Luftkessel abgerissen oder so. Habe sofort, wo ich da wieder losgefahren bin, geschaut, ob alles in Ordnung ist. Habe nichts feststellen können an meinen Anzeigen und bin dann ganz normal losgefahren und wollte halt einfach dem Feld hinterher und bin da unten auf die Bremse gegangen und da bremst man ja den Berg ab und quasi gerade auf die Leitplanke zu. Also da gibt es nicht viele Möglichkeiten, darüber nachzudenken, was machst du jetzt. Ja? In diesem Moment habe ich einfach die Bremse getreten und habe die Hände vom Lenkrad genommen, weil ich gewusst habe, ich treffe jetzt die Leitplanke. Ja? Natürlich sieht es jetzt heftiger aus. Also für mich selber hat es sich sehr soft angefühlt. Ich darf es nicht sagen, aber es ist leider so. Es sieht wirklich schlimmer aus, als dass es war jetzt für mich. Ich hoffe, an meinem Truck ist nicht allzu viel kaputt und ich kann das recht schnell jetzt wieder instand setzen, dass wir morgen wieder voll angreifen können. Ja.
Okay. Dann vielen Dank. He's off to his family right now, to the team. Thank you very much, and I will have the translation for you guys. So as you see, thumbs up. And he just had a resume. What happened? Maybe he got a little bit hit on the right side. So his suggestion is that might be some of the air tanks got a crash, and he tried to check everything, but the truck didn't say anything at all. So all the the numbers were correctly and everything was fine. But then suddenly downhill, he couldn't stop the truck, so he knew he just had to crash into the wall. And luckily, and he was saying, oh, I might not say this, but for us it's very good hearing, it was kind of a soft crash, and this is the best news of the day today, that we say that everything is fine with Stefan Faas, and we see him now the reunion with his family, and that's the best news for today.
Yeah, definitely. Thank you very much, Christina. Much appreciated. And the safety of our drivers is obviously our top priority, as I've said. Now, we do have still some more waiting to do, unfortunately, everybody, before we have a restart. But as I've mentioned, barrier repair is not something you can rush, really. I've witnessed many a barrier repair at my local circuit, Alton Park, before, where we've had marshals literally hammering in the posts again to put the barriers back into the ground and make sure it's all supported properly, because while Armco barriers are made of metal and they're very heavy, they do flex, they do move. Their whole purpose is to absorb energy from an impact. As we saw there, Stefan didn't just go straight into a wall and completely come to a stop, which would have been a really harsh movement. The barrier at least soaked up most of the energy and then stopped the truck eventually, despite the barrier collapsing. You may think that's not safe for it to collapse, but that's what it's supposed to do. It took most of the impact away from that without putting the driver at any further risk. But the red lights stay on here at the Hungaroring, and the handbrakes stay on effectively on the trucks as we wait for race 2 to get back underway. And you can see here, the barrier repairs very much underway in one of the more manual ways you can have, with a very large circular saw. It's almost like something off Robot Wars. But still, fantastic effort so far to get at least the metal part of the barrier reconstructed. And back over on the grid, it's it's a much more peaceful and quiet place to be, isn't it? Apologies for the little downtime here, everybody, but understandably, we just have to make sure that everything is all back in place and ready to go. And we will have the second race of the day, hopefully back underway and in full flow here in the FIA European Truck Racing Championship. But we are grateful that you stayed with us during this downtime for a moment. And we hope that you continue to enjoy the afternoon's racing. Don't forget as well to like the video if you haven't already on the FIA ETRC YouTube channel. And of course, don't forget to subscribe for future races and to keep up with me, Chaz Draker, and of course Christina Ran, who will be working together on the rest of the championship as well. And our German commentator as well, IB, over on the German stream. We have nearly 1,000 of you with us at the moment, and we're very grateful for each and every one of you sticking around. You can still hear just about in the background some of the fans with their air horns still soaking up the atmosphere and still thoroughly enjoying themselves. And that's what it's all about. It's great to have fans back with us, really is. I've seen a number of posts on social media from all over the world of different fans being welcomed back this week to different racing venues, different championships. It's great to have, really great to have. They are the life and blood of a lot of series and things all around the world. And a lot of the time the racing wouldn't be the same without them. You can see in the pits there as well, actually, the number 33 of Jamie Anderson is now at the opposite end of the pit lane. He's now ready to go back out by the look of it. It seemed that we'd lost him from the race due to some damage sustained early on, but hopefully Jamie will be back out there. He was definitely one of the most exciting drivers in that first race. Started 11th, finished 6th. Most places gained by quite a while as well. I think a couple of drivers only gained 2 or 3, but he went for the full 5 on that one and would start 3rd on the grid. But now, if the race does get back underway, it looks like he'll be starting from the pit lane. So once the entire field has gone past, he will then be allowed to leave the pit lane and get on with his race. Okay, as you see it there, everybody, race 2 has been red flagged, completely resumed 10 to 6 local time. So we will be back with you a bit later on to go over that one. And I'm afraid we will have to call it quits for now, and we will see you later on. Yes.
what it takes. I got what it takes. You better get out the way. You better get out the way. I got what it takes. I got what it takes. You better get out the way. You better get out the way. Coming in hot on 100. We couldn't stop if we wanted. We just keep running and gunning. We just came from where the sun is. They wonder what we been doing. We just been keeping it moving. We breaking down on the walls. The bigger they are, then the harder they fall. This is the part where we rage. They let me out of the cage. Level up on every stage. This is why they been afraid. I see your back to the wall. You stalling. You don't know what to decide. I'm hearing destiny calling on, so I gotta put it in drive. I'm just enjoying the ride. They want me dead or alive. I see the fear in their eyes, so you better move to the side. Full speed up ahead of me. Slow down what they telling me. I hit the clutch till it break, just trying to see what it could take. I'm on the way. I got what it takes. I got what it takes. You better get out the way. You better get out the way. I got what it takes. I got what it takes. You better get out the way. You better get out the way. I'm on a mission. We in a whole new dimension. Get out of my business. I don't need no more permission. Oh, they got offended. Hold on, it's just the beginning. I push it up to the limit. We just be focused on winning. You hear the beat of the drum. Just get out the way when we come. Broken glass, broken bottles. Remember we was at the bottom. Now we revving full throttle. There's nothing you can do about it. I got what it takes. I got what it takes. You better get out the way. You better get out the way. I got what it takes. I got what it takes. You better get out the way. You better get out the way.
So welcome back at the Hungaroring. As you can see, all the trucks are driving into the paddock. Unfortunately, race 2 is cancelled. We had a crash of Stefan Faas after collision with Antonio Albacete. It was this decision of the stewards, the FIA, the Hungaroring, the ETRC, that the race 2 is cancelled due to safety reasons. And how it all happened, we'd like to show you this as well. And with our commentator Chas and the German commentator EB, how did it all happen?
Thanks very much, Christina. So, into turn 1 then. Look at the 23 on the left-hand side of your screen. That's Antonio Albacete. Locks up big time on the way in. Hits the right-hand side of the number 24, which is Stefan Faas, who spins around and gets collected a little bit more by other drivers in the field. A bit more shenanigans further on was Jochen Hahn and Antonio Albacete, who had a very lively start to his race. But right at the back of the field, once Stefan Faas had got going again, something was broken on the right-hand side of his truck, which meant that he could not turn in to turn 2, which is a left-hander down the hill, and he careered straight on into the barrier. We ride on board here with Stefan. You'll see he goes to turn in about now on the brakes, an early turn in, and nothing happens. And he said to Christina earlier that he could have hit the wall side on. That would have been a lot more dangerous than just hitting it straight on. So he just let the truck go straight, and as you can see, he was completely fine, but the race was unfortunately red flagged. A very, very big hit, of course. But again, testament to the safety of these trucks. And of course, a testament to the safety of the wall.
In the first corner, I think now in the moment it's not, it's noch nicht perfekt. Ich weiß nicht genau, was war am Truck. Ich konnte nicht mehr richtig bremsen. Das eine Rad hat blockiert und der Rest vom Truck hat nicht mehr gebremst.
Okay, the one tire blocked and you couldn't stop the truck.
Und dann bin ich praktisch, natürlich hätte ich einlenken können, aber dann wäre ich mit der Seite in die Leitplanke rein. Und ich habe einfach gemerkt, ich werde nicht langsamer, habe die Hände vom Lenkrad genommen und habe einfach weiter gebremst und versucht einfach anzuhalten.
Let me just translate that very quickly. So he tried to turn around, but then suddenly realizing that he was not losing any speed, so then he would have crashed with the side. So he decided to let loose, basically, and just crashed directly into the wall. I mean, what was that for feeling? When the walls are really good, the security is good, but boah.
Ich habe ja nicht damit gerechnet. Ja. Ich bin da in der ersten Kurve praktisch getroffen worden auf der rechten Seite. Ich vermute, die haben mir da einen Luftkessel abgerissen oder so. Habe sofort, wo ich da wieder losgefahren bin, geschaut, ob alles in Ordnung ist. Habe nichts feststellen können an meinen Anzeigen und bin dann ganz normal losgefahren und wollte halt einfach dem Feld hinterher und bin da unten auf die Bremse gegangen und da bremst man ja den Berg ab und quasi gerade auf die Leitplanke zu. Also da gibt es nicht viele Möglichkeiten, darüber nachzudenken, was machst du jetzt. Ja? In diesem Moment habe ich einfach die Bremse getreten und habe die Hände vom Lenkrad genommen, weil ich gewusst habe, ich treffe jetzt die Leitplanke. Ja? Natürlich sieht es jetzt heftiger aus. Also für mich selber hat es sich sehr soft angefühlt. Ich darf es nicht sagen, aber es ist leider so. Es sieht wirklich schlimmer aus, als dass es war jetzt für mich. Ich hoffe, an meinem Truck ist nicht allzu viel kaputt und ich kann das recht schnell jetzt wieder instand setzen, dass wir morgen wieder voll angreifen können. Ja.
Okay. Dann vielen Dank. He's off to his family right now, to the team. Thank you very much. And I will have the translation for you guys. So as you see, thumbs up. And he just had a resume. What happened? Maybe he got a little bit hit on the right side. So his suggestion is that might be some of the air tanks got a crash. And he tried to check everything, but the truck didn't say anything at all. So all the, the numbers were correctly and everything was fine. But then suddenly downhill, he couldn't stop the truck, so he knew he just had to crash into the wall. And luckily, and he was saying, "Oh, I might not say this, but for us, it's very good hearing. It was kind of a soft crash, and this is the best news of the day today. That we say that everything is fine with Stefan Faas, and we see him now the reunion with his family, and that's the best news for today." Yes, it absolutely was. Talking to Stefan Faas was kind of the best part today, because the safety structure works 100% and it has to work for all races 100%, so they try to rebuild the wall, and it could not happen that quickly. This is why race 2 is cancelled, so that we can guarantee a safer wall barrier tomorrow for the race 3 and race 4. So luckily the safety structure is on 100% right now here, and we see the sun slightly going down on the paddock right now. So we hope you see you tomorrow. That was our first day here at the Hungaroring, starting the new season of 2021, the FIA European Truck Racing Championship. We are so glad that you are back, that all the drivers and the teams are back. So until now, we say, see you then.